Hi, thanks for joining me in this video. This video will be discussing authorizations to return to Canada, or also known as ARC, A-R-C. There's three ways that Canada can remove you from Canada. One is called a voluntary departure. Another one is called exclusion order, and the worst of them all is called a deportation. Voluntary departure is exactly that. The officer has rejected an application and is asking you kindly to remove yourself from Canada. Most of the times they give you 30 days notice. They give you a letter, they sign it, they date it, and say you have 30 days to leave Canada without any other measures to be taken. If you exit Canada within 30 days, then in technicality, you can return back to Canada the next day, so long as you have the appropriate visas. Now, with a voluntary departure, make sure that when you go to the airport and you leave Canada, you get a stamp from the officer in Canada, and you also get a stamp from the country that's receiving you. That's very important because a voluntary departure can turn into an automatic deportation if you don't follow the proper procedure. A lot of clients forget to follow the correct procedures and therefore are quite shocked that they now need to apply for authorization to return to Canada, even though they did depart Canada within the 30 days. So again, get a stamp into your passport on the date that you arrive in Canada airport, that you're exiting, and the country that's receiving you must also acknowledge that they've received you. Should you follow those two steps, then you don't need authorization to return to Canada in your subsequent applications. An exclusion order means an application has been rejected and you can return to Canada after you depart Canada after 12 months without the need to file for authorization to return to Canada. I actually like this application and I always encourage my clients, you know what, sit tight, don't do anything, just wait the 12 months out. You do have the ability, if you need to come to Canada before the 12 months is up, to apply for the authorization to return to Canada. The reason I encourage my clients to wait is an ARC application does take 8 to 12 months to process. So by the time you submit it and get a decision, your 12 months for that exclusion order usually is up anyways. And what if the answer is no? Now you have a refused authorization to return to Canada, and let's say you want to come back to Canada after your 12 months, the receiving officer is going to see that you have a rejected application. So if at all possible, and usually it is, wait the 12 months and then submit your regular visa applications to come back to Canada. Now let's talk about the deportation. This means your application is rejected, you must exit Canada. Usually they give you a reasonable time to exit, but nonetheless, once you do exit, anytime you wish to come back, you have to request permission from the minister by filing the ARC application. An ARC application has a form and should have a cover letter with legal submissions as to why you received the removal order to begin with and why do you want to come back. The why you want to come back is extremely important. By that, the officer wants to assure that you're not going to again apply for permanent residency or stay in the country illegally. Most of the times, you will want to come temporarily on a visit visa, for example. So you have to demonstrate your ties to your home country. You have to demonstrate that you are coming temporarily and you're exiting. Now, let's say you are actually being sponsored, such as a spousal sponsorship, but you've been removed from Canada in the past. You still need to include an ARC form with an explanation, but you don't necessarily need to provide documents from your home country that you're going to go back to, because this is a PR application. But any temporary application, such as visit, study, work visa, etc., you must demonstrate ample documents that you have no intentions of staying beyond that authorized period for your visit, study, or work visa. The other last thing that you must demonstrate, it's not a key component, but it's the financial components. For the duration that you're staying in this country, you will demonstrate that you have X amount of dollars in your bank account that's readily accessible by you. In case something happens, you have access to those funds and you can use it while you're in Canada. If you have any questions about authorizations to return to Canada, feel free to call us. Thank you, and until next time.